Good morning. Do me a favor, and you can either do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, but I want you to imagine yourself sitting here with me. It's a beautiful morning up in the mountains. The birds are just starting to wake up. The sun isn't up yet, but it's coming. There's a nice breeze that's tinkling the wind chimes. Scrub jays are starting to wake up. And take a moment to really smell what it would be like to be here in the mountains with all these pine trees. The air is fresh. You can hear the wind in the trees. I'm gonna sneeze. That'll wake you up. So much for a little meditative state. You know, and take a look across from the deck. Look across the valley where we're at. You're looking through the trees, and on the opposite side of the mountainside across from us, it's still snow. It's still covered in snow. And yet, here we are, probably about 6 a.m. The moon is still up. Saturn and Mars are over there, being quite brilliant. And take a moment while you're here and you're just imagining you're here with me. Step into that space. This is just a play. This is, you can call it meditation, whatever. It's just play. And I really want you to get into the smell of the fresh pine. And just that it's amazing. We don't realize how much mountain air, crisp, clean mountain air has a smell. Very much has a smell. And just go there for a minute. Really envelop yourself. Give yourself that gift. Listen to that wind. And in this moment, guys, just be here. Just be with this quiet space. And I've done videos where I've had you guys go very much into a state of what I call your imaginary senses, sense of smell, taste, touch, all that. And we've done it with the tennis ball. And Neville Goddard calls that SATS, the state akin to sleep. And it has nothing to do with sleep. I think they just needed a name, so they came up with that. It's not, you could call it daydreaming, but daydreaming for me is very much a space of not real, right? Whereas SATS very much to me is something bigger than that, something much more tangible, much more real. So if you think about the smell I was just inviting you to find, it wasn't overpowering, it wasn't big, and maybe you just blipped on it for a second, but you did. Now, I used to do lucid dreaming and astral projection. That was very fun. And there were times where that blip of a smell or a feeling or a sound or a sight would happen. And it was very real. Even though I was perceiving it only happening in my mind, it was very real. And it was so real that my sister, who was driving across the United States in her car, in her trailer, saw me sitting in the passenger seat next to her. Just a blip. It was very real. And she immediately, and in that moment, I had been trying. I didn't know where she was. I didn't know if she was driving. I didn't know if she was camping. I didn't know where she was. But I was trying to find her. I was trying to astral project and find her. And I had a blip of being in a car and seeing the scenery going past the passenger side window. And not much later, she called me and said that she had perceived me being there in the car in the passenger seat of her car. And I was like, oh, that's why I saw what I saw. So what does this mean, guys? What does this mean? Does this mean that I can do something that you can't? Oh, hell no, babes. You do this all the time. Every time you imagine a scenario, whether it's a memory or it's the fun little thing we did just now with you sitting here next to me as the sky's getting lighter, and you're just thinking about the smell. Invite that to be so much bigger than just a daydream. Like for some people, if I say imagination, it immediately drops down in hierarchy from reality. Reality is real, imagination isn't real. But what if you're imagining the most precious memory you have? The most wonderful, fantastic, amazing, wow. One of those memories that immediately zooms you into that scene. Whatever it is you're remembering, it immediately takes you there, and you can smell and you can see and you're literally reliving. Isn't that too just happening only in your imagination? And yet it's so palpable and it's so precious to you. Nobody could tell you that wasn't real. It's a memory that is so important to you and so delightful that there is no argument of real or not real or this or that or anything like that. It's because it's in the category of memory. Whereas the category of fantasy or dream or imagination or astral projecting or things like that is a little more not real, right? We have all these categories we put our thoughts into. Whoa, we just suddenly got light. Light just changed. Let's go back to the looking at the sky. There we go. And I'm inviting you to change that. I'm inviting you to allow imagination to be a portal, doorway, to a space. Your memories are too. All these things are. They're all, you perceive that you're still sitting where you are, and you are just thinking in your mind. And that's what imagination is. But babes, play, have fun. Let it be so much more palpable and real than that. Let yourself delight in the fact that in your imagination, you can smell, you can taste, you can hear. Again, even if it's just for a blip, you did. And don't go too much into what does that mean. Allow your inner child that is like, wow, allow that little fun friend to come out and just revel in the amazing things you can do and allow it instead of trying to force it or feeling around and trying and with a state of desperation. Just relax. The sky is slowly getting lighter. Sunrises are one of my most favorite time. And allow whatever is stirring up in you from what I've been saying to arise on its own, like the sunrise. I can't sit here and go, come on, go faster, faster. I need the sun to come up. I've got things to do. I mean, I can, but why? Why not just have a nice cup of coffee, sit out here? Or like right now, the tulips and the daffodils are coming up. Poor babies, we got snow coming in a couple days, and that's what you are. Sometimes we get caught up in the timeline of I'm going to die. But if I could remove that for you, and I can't really, only you can. But when you remove that deadline, literally, that's funny that I just realized that word deadline and deadline. It's a line where you die. If I could remove that for you to where now you have infinite time. You've got infinite time to experience so many amazing wonders. And you can allow, I love the wind in the trees. You can allow all these things that I'm talking about that you desperately want to experience or be or do or have. You can allow them to arise in their time, the time that's perfect for you. You have no idea why you can't have it now. I go there too. I get there too. I get caught up in the, oh shit, I need this and this and this to happen right now. Well, how's that work out for you? Does that ever make anything happen faster? No. So if I could give you a gift with this video, the gift is this. Remove the deadline, because there is none. Guys, I'm going to tell you right here and right now, I've interacted with death a lot, a whole lot, and there is no death. There's no death. There just isn't. Because of your fantastic beliefs, you get to have experiences that might confirm that. But that's just the amazingness of you. And that's another video for another time. But my gift is this. Remove the deadline. Trust that sun arises perfectly and that you're doing that. You're doing it. You guys can't see. Well, maybe you can almost see the colors. Let's just get a little darker. The colors, right there. Here comes the sun. Da-da-da-da-da. I had two things I was going to say, and I can't remember what the second one was. That's okay. Explore. Oh, babes. Oh, I know what the second one was. It was about cause and effect. That if you do this, this will happen. Woodpeckers. And the only reason you have this knowing of cause and effect, if I drink coffee, I'll have high energy. If I brush my teeth, I'll have, you have all this cause and effect thoughts. And how much of that is swirling around the wonder of you. Yeah? If I meditate in the morning, these things will happen. If I do segment intentions, these things will happen. Yesterday and the day before were days of lots of amazing things happening for me. And I get those. I get those days where all of a sudden large amounts of money are coming in and I'm getting gifts and it just seems like everything I want is falling together, right? And then it'll stop and I get like, oh no, what'd I do? See, that's that cause and effect. So the second gift I would give to you is this. Remove the fucking cause and effect. Just get the fuck rid of that. The only reason you bring to you memories that cause and effect is real, that cause and effect is that if you could just figure out the proper cause, you would get the ideal effect. I would remove that for you. Because the only reason you think that is because you are playing with that belief right now. And so because you have a belief, your imagination, oh, your delightful, wonderful center of creation brings to you memories to support, hold up, support that wonderful belief. It's not a bad belief. Some beliefs I feel, I know everything I experience is, perfect in every way. I know it. I'm a God. It can't not be perfect. Even the feeling of, I want to get rid of that. But I do go into spaces of, let's get rid of that belief. I'm done playing with that. And that's perfect in itself too. That's, again, there's this whole world within cause and effect. This amazing, delightful, limited world. And to be a God that can do anything, and I get to play with being limited, holy shit. And at the same time, to remember, I'm a God. And while I can play at being limited, there is nothing that at any time stops me from being a God. We think, if I was a God, I'd be rich, and I'd be this, and I'd be that, and I'd be that. But what if it's actually the exact opposite of that? And to go into your mind, imagination, and there you are, always, that God self. So I'm going to close with this. Find you. Give me your name. Say your name out loud. Kristen. Whatever your name is. And now, I want you to remember the youngest age you can remember. Whatever that is. It might just be a blip, but just remember your youngest age. You may not even know how old you were. You just have a memory. And I want you to find you, the person who is observing this memory, this imagination, stirred up space. Find you in that. And now, think of somewhere around 10 years old. Where did you live? Where were you going to school? And just come as close to it as you can. You don't have to be precise. And I want you to find you, the you that's observing this memory. Say your name. Same person as when you were at your youngest, same person at 10. And I want you to do this again for your 21st birthday, when you finally are legal to drink alcohol. And maybe your 18th birthday. All the way up to who you are now. And I want you to find the you that was observing all those memories, that was finding all those memories, that was creating the you. It's still you. You say your name. It's still you finding all of those, playing in all of those. It's still and it's always you. That right there. That's your God self. It's that easy to find. It's that easy to see it. That's your God self. Because that version of you can create any memory you want of being 15, being 21. You can... The northern flickers are awake. Sorry. I try to be serious, but these guys crack me up. The northern flickers, people say they're a type of woodpecker, but I don't think they are. But what they do is they find metal things like the top of your chimney. They just find metal things. And they... It's so funny to imagine the muscles that cause them to go so fast, so fucking fast. And they do it at this time in the morning. And there's another one going. They do it to attract mates, and they do it to also scare other flickers out of their territory. And that's a northern flicker, that sound. That's not. That's a northern flicker. They're huge. They're big birds. But it's hilarious to watch them. Doesn't it sound like they're laughing? I love it. The world is coming alive. And we've been out here since it was just dawn. Talking a little serious, talking a little fun exploration. Invitations to go bigger than you've ever gone before. Oh, does that sound fun? And guys, remember, when you're watching me in videos and I'm inviting you to do things, I'm you. You created me. This is always you going, you ready? You ready to go bigger? You've been wanting this. You ready? Let's do it now. Anytime I put out an invitation, it's always an invitation to go bigger. Always. I get so tickled by them. I love it. This is why dawn's my favorite time. And the northern flickers are only around, they're around year round, but they're only making this kind of noises and the laughing noise and the jackhammer noise during spring. And it's fun. Oh, it's so much fun. Freaking life is so much fun. But back to, guys, what I was saying about anytime somebody is asking you to be bold, anytime, maybe your boss is saying, hey, you want this position, it's yours if you want it. There's more money, there's more this, there's more that. That's you. It's always you. Asking you want to go bigger? You want to go bigger? When somebody says, hey, you want to play the lottery? You want to play the lot? That's you. Does that mean you're going to win? It's not about that. It's about recognizing that it's always you asking you. It's always you. And so when I'm sitting here inviting you to move beyond the deadline and move beyond cause and effect, that's you. That's this God version of you saying, let's go bigger. We've done this up to now. Let's do something new. What do you think? You are doing this all day long, all the time. You're constantly inviting yourself. And you'll give yourself memories. Remember, it's just imagination. You'll give yourself memories that things aren't so helter-skelter, to create more of a timeline. Just because you're so fucking badass, man. Just because you can. I had a wonderful lady ask me yesterday I love it. I love it when people say, oh, I want to go down the rabbit hole. I'm like, yes, bring it. Let's go. My favorite place, my absolute favorite place. Down the rabbit hole. Oh, my absolute favorite place. And I love the questions. I love people's exploration of themselves in those moments. Because I know they already know the answer. They're just playing like, can it be? Can it really be like this? And it's like, fuck yeah, there is nothing you can't be. Not a damn thing. So when somebody's, oh, look at the clouds in the sky. Nice. When somebody is saying, is it this way or this way? It's like, how about both? How about both? Why not? there are moments when you're playing with what I was helping you to find your God self there a little bit ago. There are moments where you can feel that infiniteness, that there is no ceiling, there is no parameters, there's no cage. Nothing can cage you. Nothing. Just when you think you're like, oh, this is it, this is the apex, it's like, no, you can go bigger. You're always more powerful than that. Always. Isn't it beautiful how the sky is just starting to lighten up? I know I said, what was it, a good 10 minutes ago I was going to finish. Yeah, no. Because this is my space of happy, happy, happy fucking fun. I love it. I love just musing and talking and just a nice stroll, right? It's just a nice calm stroll along the amazingness of who we are. And that there's no, oh, I gotta make this video perfect. It's getting too long. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No. Again, that's the world of cause and effect. And to move beyond cause and effect into that there's nothing you can do or not do to make yourself less of a god. There's just nothing. You get to, I call them sandboxes, but you get to play in beliefs, and you get to bring to you all these memories to support the belief, like the memory of watching somebody die. So how can there be no death? I sat next to my mother's bedside and watched her die. So doesn't that validate that there is death? No, not at all. See, because at that time, I was believing that there was such a thing as death. So I brought to me an example of death. Running over a squirrel in the road. There it is. There's death. So, see, death is real. When you're playing with a belief, you are so fantastic, you will bring to you all sorts of examples to support it. That's what your memories are. Their job is to support a belief. But it's just a belief. It's just in your imagination. And you can create and do anything in your imagination. It is your seed of creation. So if you decide, it's getting windy. If you decide you're done with death, that there is no such thing as death, you're going to start bringing to you all sorts of examples of why that's not true. Why there is no timeline. Why you are not a being of such a steadiness. You are all over the place. You are 10 and you are 2 and you are 20 and you are 50 and you are ages you haven't even hit yet. Because there's no age either. But again, I'm going way off topic. See? Coffee talk. Again, this is my space of such happiness. This is my world right here. This expansive, amazing, no-limit world. And how do I know this is true? There is nothing that isn't true. Death is true for when you're playing with it. And when you're done playing with it and you don't need to believe in it, now it's not true anymore for you. But see, You are not a being of true and false, of right and wrong and real and not real. It's all fucking real, babe. It's all real. And we can get caught up in, well, no, I understand what you're saying, but I want to know the real thing. Good luck with that. I said a minute ago that I had many minutes ago, a lot of experience with death. A whole lot. Like literally dying. 3 times. Literally died. And, you know, when you're playing with death, you can even bring to you people who have had NDEs, you know, near-death experiences. And they're just another validation of death for you. And what I learned from my 3 times of dying is that it's not death. You don't die. Did I die and come back? No, I died and kept going. And you're looking at her, and then it happened again, and I kept going. So you don't look at it like this. Your 10-year-old self is dead. That person you were remembering, person, let's say your 21st birthday person, long dead, long dead. All those cells, all those beliefs, everything you were as that person, dead, long gone. That's what death is. That's death. Seriously, that's death. So does that mean that this version of you, say your name, Kristen, never ever dies? Exactly. You don't ever die. How cool is that? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, and I said it to somebody yesterday. Have you ever not existed? Have you, say your name, ever not existed? No. I guarantee you have no memories of not existing. Even if you're playing with past life regression memories, it's still you, your name, say your name, remembering that, looking at that, playing with that memory. And even if you were to astral project out of this body and into somebody else's body, are you not in that moment now that person? You could say you are, but you're still you, say your name, viewing this. It's always you viewing that new belief or that new experience. Even if you were to give yourself the death experience and your soul moved on to another space, isn't it always just you, say your name, still having that particular experience? Yeah. Yeah. As a past clairvoyant, medium, psychic, a friend of mine had died. And when he died, I interacted with him where he was so that I could understand more. And we had a full-on experience. He was dead. I was talking to his I'm in heaven version of him because that's what he believed in. And I gave myself this whole experience. But wasn't it still just me, Kristen, giving myself this whole imagination experience? Yeah. It's always me. It's always Kristen having these beliefs. It's always Kristen having this and that. So I had somebody yesterday ask me about, well, are there other people? Or am I just creating them? Including you, Kristen. And I'm like, yeah. How about it's both? Because you can play with both. But see, I don't play with both anymore. And because I don't play with both anymore, my world now supports that. My world, which is a vastly different world than it was just I don't know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Vastly different from when I was playing with clairvoyance and all of that. I now know, I don't want to say it's not real, because when I was playing with it, it was very real. But it's moved into a space of, don't need to do that anymore. You know? When I was little, Santa Claus was very real. You couldn't have told me Santa Claus was not real. And then at some point, I moved beyond needing to interact with that. And because I'm not interacting with it, it's moved into a space of kind of a fable. Right? And that's a little more extreme of an example than what I'm talking about. But all I'm doing is opening up your mind to so many new worlds of possibility, right? I'm just you, just musing here, having fun, just playing. And in 5 more years, Jesus, where am I going to be? But one of the gifts of removing the deadline is this. You're not in a rush anymore. You get to enjoy the northern flickers doing silly things in the morning. You get to kick back in and watch the sunrise. You get to do a 40-minute video where you're just musing. You're not teaching. You're not in a rush of, okay, God, come on, you got to believe this. You got to understand this. You're not in any of that. You're just enjoying you. You're just taking the fucking time to enjoy you. No belief is wrong. Not one of them. Not one. They're all you. Exploring you. Which is an infinite space. And I say the word infinite, and that does not even begin to encompass. To remember that you're always more powerful than that. You get to these memories of, wow. And in that moment to go, and I'm more powerful than this, holy shit. I'm looking at the snow. I don't think you guys can see it. Maybe. Whoa. Here's the monkey. So, over there. Where's the snow? There's... on the hillsides across the way, there's snow. But I don't think you guys are going to get to see it. Alright. It's funny, a friend of mine was like, boy, when you do your coffee talk, you just ramble. And I'm like, I know, because I don't want to shut it off. I love this version of me. I love the version of me that just is such, sometimes I'm physically exploring. I get on my hiking boots and I take off and I go explore. And other times I explore here. And oh, I love this. I love this exploration through Kristen. Boy, what a fucking kick it is. It's just, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to turn the video off. I don't have to. And when I get caught up in, that's not the right video. It's not this or that. I remember in those moments that it's just me. It's just me watching these. And any human beings I perceive that give me comments on my videos, that's just me. That's all my creations. And the more I can just enjoy me, the more I can just enjoy me, the more me to enjoy arises, right? And again, it's just that constant, I'm playing here, and so I'm bringing myself more to support that. I used to criticize certain gurus and channelers and this and that, and I'm just criticizing myself when I do that, you know? When you look at something and you're like, wow, that's so amazing, the only person who is feeling that wow is you, right? You're feeling that wow. And when you're seeing something that makes you scared, maybe it's a certain politician or whatever, and it's got you all nervous and worried and scared, or it's a prediction of a whatever, that's you. The only person who's feeling those feelings is you. You can bring to yourself people to commiserate together, but again, nobody can feel what you're feeling in here. So if you're willing to go, you know what, I don't like that. That's not something I want to keep going. That's not a video I would want to do on and on and on. That doesn't feel good. Then in that moment, that was the only thought you needed to change that and go, you know what, no, I'm not playing with that anymore. That's all you need to do. There's no magic buttons, no magic way of thinking, no perfect way of thinking, unless you're playing that there is a perfect way of thinking. And then you will continue to play in the seeking and the searching, because you can, because you're that amazing. So yesterday I told somebody, I can only see you as a fucking rock star. I can't see you any other way. Because I see that God. I see that God who is just so fantastic at playing limiting. It's like, you know, maybe you're 10 years old and you're playing house at being 5. You know? You're so much better than that, but you get to kind of limit yourself and be a 5-year-old. It's that, you know? I see a 10-year-old. I see the God self playing at being something you're so not, but you're playing, and it's fun. And that's what I see, and I get to giggle and laugh. And when somebody's like, but I'm this and I'm that and I'm having such a hard time, I'm just like, oh my God, look at you being so amazing. Okay, you're having a hard time. Okay, cool, well done. Because in the next blip, you won't be having a hard time anymore. It's just one big fucking sandbox. All right, I gotta go. Oh, it's light enough now. I can go for a walk. See ya.